Hi, the trip so far. I set off from Tangalooma about 10 o'clock and it's about 70 miles to Double Island Point, where I hope to tuck in behind for the night and maybe the next day before either going over Wide Bay Bar or carrying on round the top of Fraser. But as things worked out, I set off with a weather forecast of about 20 knots from the southeast. As the day progressed, I was getting 25, 28, went through a storm of 30 with gusts of 35. These are all registered at Double Island Point. I'm just getting all this off, and we carried on towards Double Island Point, and about 2 o'clock in the morning I was getting very close to Double Island Point, and I had to make a decision up there of either run behind Double Island Point or stay out and keep the sea room and carry on up Fraser Island. At 2 in the morning it came up there was too much iffy about going behind Double Island Point, so too many ifs and not enough certainties, so I carried on out at sea and carried up along Fraser. It blew throughout the day about 25 knots. Towards the end of the day we got down to about 20 when I got to about Indian Head. That run was about 70 nautical miles to Indian Head. We arrived there about 6 in the evening, and then I had to sail then from Indian Head basically to Breaksea Spit, which is another 50 miles. And 50 miles, which got me there about just after midnight. And there was a bit of overfalls at Breaksea Spit, but not much. I had to make the decision then if I carried on. I was hoping to go to Musgrave and set a course for Musgrave Island, or I decided that the best thing I could do was beat back to windward, which would give me a break from the helm because of the autopilot was not managing in the following sea. And as if I went back towards Hervey Bay and got tucked in behind Fraser Island in Platypus Bay, there wouldn't be so much. I would get no swell, just waves. So it was only blowing by then about 18 knots. So I just sailed back into Platypus Bay, or sailed in behind Breaksea Spit basically, because it's about another 70 miles to Tumba Creek. So I just carried on then back to so I got basically behind Breaksea Spit, which broke up the swell after about an hour, and then I managed to get some sleep. So I left it on autopilot, fully reefed, and we just made my way back into the bay, and I managed to get half an hour's sleep at a time for quite a while. I'd have a look, come back up, put my alarm on for 20 minutes, have a look around, but the Hervey Bay's a desert, there's no shipping in there and nobody fishes, so I didn't even see a thing. The next day I sailed on to Watumba Creek and arrived there at 6 in the evening, just on dark. And the tide was about 2 hours after low water, so I tried to get in and bumped the bottom a couple of times further in the creek, and ended up anchored by 7 o'clock. Stayed there for a day, had a nice day there, did all my washing because I got quite a lot of clothes salted, so I managed to go to the national park and wash my clothes, take a few photographs and everything else I wanted to do there. And my main aim was to get, if there was still a southerly, I would like to get to Lady Musgrave. So I set off at 8 in the evening from there, and it took me to get to Lady Musgrave from 8 in the evening all next day, and arrived here at 4 in the afternoon. Had a great sail up. Most of the way I was under spinnaker, and the GPS was managing very well, and I think it steered it this time for 90% of the trip. On the course, on the trip from Tangalooma to Breaksea Spit, I reckon the autohelm did 1% of the work, if that. I had to hold the helm all the time. The following seas it just wouldn't manage with. We're now in Lady Musgrove. It's great. It's fantastic here. At the moment it's absolutely flat. The tide's out. I had no wind all day, so we had a beautiful day. Tried to go fishing. Spent 7 litres of go juice and didn't catch a thing, which broke my heart. I took some people for a snorkel up the far end of the reef here, and we had a good snorkel in the afternoon. And now we've come back, and the sun's just going down now, and I decided I'd make this recording before I had tea. Tomorrow they're telling me that, which is Thursday, on Friday, that we're going to get a southeasterly change of 30 knots. So I might go tomorrow. I'll have a look at the weather forecast and just find out what this southeasterly change, if there's anything behind it. I don't mind this southeasterly change of 30 knots if it calms down to 20 within 3 or 4 hours, but if it's very strong blow up the coast, then I will make my way to Busted Head and shelter behind and tuck myself into Pancake Creek for a few days till it blows out. Thank you everybody for this for now, and I'll talk to you later.